So we set our server up as a DHCP server, our machine. We set up our router as a DHCP server. Would we ever want our router to be a DHCP client? Is it possible that we could do that? I think that would probably be something that would be wise, especially on a home router, getting your address from your ISP. If you are running a Linksys router at your house, you might find this option for your internet setup where you can do automatic configuration. They actually have it listed as DHCP. So this is in a standard GUI interface that you might get on a consumer grade router. Linksys, Netgear, D-Link, any of these guys have this functionality. And typically today, that's exactly what you want. So your home router is actually a DHCP server on the LAN side. So you're getting 192.168.1 address. Again, it might not be 192.168.1. That's pretty typical today. But on the WAN side, you're actually getting your configuration from your ISP. Would we want to do that in a Cisco router if we were actually looking at one of our Cisco devices? So here's our Cisco router. This goes to our LAN infrastructure, and then we go down to our ISP down here, which gets us out to the cloud. Would we want to set this address up here on this interface as DHCP? Again, more and more times today we're doing it. I think in the large environment, large enterprise environment, we wouldn't, and maybe in some smaller ones people wouldn't, but it actually works out to our benefit. If the ISP wants to renumber us, as long as we don't have a lot of mappings back and forth here, then it would make it easier for them. So we might do that. How would we set it up? Well, when we configured the IP address on our interface before, so if we do router and we'll go config, right, I would go to interface FA0/0. That takes me to my router config if. I could say IP address DHCP. That's all it takes, and that makes that interface an IP DHCP client. At that point, this router interface right here will be doing the ever popular DHCP discover and gig an address from the ISP if the ISP wants to hand it to me. If it doesn't, I won't get an address and things won't work for me. But again, if your ISP told you to do automatic configuration, that would be DHCP, you can make your router interface a DHCP client.